Hello everyone, this is Matt from Real World Review, and today we're going to be replacing the front screen on the Google Pixel 6 Pro. It's very similar to the Google Pixel 6, and for this video I do actually have the frame and the front fingerprint scanner attached to the new screen. So if you have one of those, proceed. If not, I highly recommend getting one of those and returning whatever part you ordered. So the tools you're going to need are going to be a T4 Torx driver, a plastic pick, a razor blade, a playing card, and some heat. You will also possibly need some adhesive and some glue, as well as some clamps. Then you obviously need a computer to change the fingerprint scanner, which may or may not work. You'll see what I mean. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to heat up the edges of the screen, just get a decent amount of heat so then we can loosen up that adhesive and we can get under the screen and kind of lift it up like this. But pretty much what you're going to do is use a razor blade, lift up the screen just a little bit, and then use the pick to cut through the adhesive. This is definitely more difficult than the Pixel 6, and it will take a little bit more heat and a little bit more patience, so definitely proceed with caution. Obviously, if your screen is cracked like mine, you definitely want to use some eye protection to make sure you don't get any glass in your eyes. But you can see I'm using either the pick or a playing card to cut through the adhesive, and just keep doing that until you go around the entire screen. If you're trying to preserve the OLED, this most likely will break it, so definitely consider that. Once all the edges are lifted up, it does lift up to the left side, so make sure to set it up like this. And then we're going to grab that T4 driver and we're going to remove that screw right here and use a pick to lift up the little retaining clip right here. Next, we want to carefully remove that screen. I recommend using the pick on the bottom portion like I did on the 6, and for some reason I used it in a different area on this one. But either way, I recommend using the bottom to lift up that cable. And now the screen is no longer attached. So like I said, here's the screen that I ordered. It comes with the fingerprint scanner and all the plastic frames that go around the camera as well as the screen. I highly recommend getting this one and not one without any of those. But in the event that you do order just a screen like that, you can pretty much just loosen up this adhesive and remove it from the actual screen itself and then kind of set it into the phone like this. Obviously you want to use some glue to set it in, but it is possible to do that. It's definitely more difficult to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the adhesive from the screen. This is actually really easy. It's like a stretchy adhesive that sits on the actual phone. So we can just carefully remove that, and that should remove all the adhesive that goes around the screen. And if you needed to remove the fingerprint scanner, you just want to heat it up like this, just a little bit, and cut through the adhesive around the edges. Then you want to just lift up the cable and unplug that cable. And then what you would want to do is plug it into the new screen like this, and you can either set it down if the adhesive is still good, or you can use some glue around it. Just make sure you don't get any of the glue on the sensor itself. But either way, we're going to use the new screen with the new frame. So we're going to test this first. We're going to plug it in like this, and make sure that the phone powers on. Looks like it does. Touchscreen seems to be working, button seems to be working, so that's good. We're going to power the phone off, and then we're going to apply some adhesive right here. I recommend using just glue, but we are going to put some adhesive as kind of a little buffer to make sure that that plastic isn't touching directly onto the metal, though that shouldn't entirely matter. But I'm also putting adhesive just on the sides. I'm not putting any on the top. Then I'm going to use the glue around the rest of the phone. So what we can do is we can plug in the screen, we can put that little retaining clip, and then put that T4 screw back in. Again, we want to test to make sure the screen's working, and then we can grab that glue and we can apply it on the side, on the bottom, on the right side, and on the top. Then what we're going to do is just push down on the screen, make sure it's kind of flat, and we can clean up the little excess glue that there is going to be. Pretty much you just want to get like a paper towel and either clean it up or add a little bit of rubbing alcohol on it and remove it that way. You can always wait until the screen kind of cures and then you can remove it by hand. That's an option as well. Then what we're going to do is put the clamps on. I recommend putting them on all 4 corners and then 2 on the side, like this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to let that sit for about 2 hours. Then you can program the fingerprint scanner in the meantime, but what I did is I let it sit for 2 hours. I'm removing these clamps, and then I'm going to clean up the adhesive like this. All I'm doing is just using a finger or fingernail, and I just want to make sure that it does work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the computer, and I'm going to put the phone into fast boot mode and plug it in. And to do that, all you want to do is turn off the phone, hold volume down and power button, and you'll see this menu like this. Next, what we want to do is we want to go onto the link that I have in the description below. And what you want to do is scroll down to where it says install fingerprint calibration software, and you want to click connect phone. And on the top left, it should say Pixel 6 Pro. You click connect and then click install software, and it should start working. If it shows up like what it says on here, couldn't find the unique calibration software for this device, this is actually a software glitch or hardware glitch, depending on how you look at it. And ultimately, there's no way that you can fix it, as far as I know. I've heard that you can do a factory reset and this should help that issue, but I don't recommend doing that unless you have all your information backed up, because it may or may not even work. So the way that the fingerprint scanner works is if you buy the screen with the fingerprint scanner attached, you can actually program that one with the actual Pixel programming website. But if you transfer the fingerprint without breaking it, obviously, you can put that into the new screen and then you won't have to program it at all. If it's still not working when you put it on there, it's just because you didn't line it up and you have to line it up properly. I highly recommend doing this before gluing the screen on, just to make sure that you don't mess up. But ultimately, you want to run this software, and supposedly it works, though I've never had success with this. You can try multiple times, but most of the time when it says this, it's not going to work. But if it does work, it should go through and restart your phone, and the fingerprint scanner should work. Though, if it's still not working, you want to just run this program again. Apparently, it does take 2 or 3 times to work. But once that's programmed, that's about it. Hopefully this video helped you out. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section or message me on the social media listed above. And as always, thanks for watching.